and let this thing get as much cold air in here as possible before I shut it off.
You're cranking it up? I just turned mine off. I was like, Chris is turning his off. I'm going to turn mine off.
I'm waiting until we start clapping.
Okay.
This bad boy staying on.
So this is what we do, Jordan. We clap on 4 and 8.
Okay.
You got it?
Got it. 4 and 8.
And then, because if you mess up on 4, like, at least I got 8.
Gotcha.
Okay. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Nice.
We got lucky there.
Way better than Tud does.
4 and 8. The weirdest way to hold a steering wheel at 4 and 8. Is that weird?
Yeah.
I guess it's down here, right? It's not that weird.
I would argue that like 3 and 3 would be like the weirdest way. Yeah, that's it. That's all you have.
It's like you're
2 hands, but they're in one spot.
That's why it's like you're driving a boat.
Yeah. Oh, I can already tell it's gonna be a good podcast.
Oh yeah.
All right, Chris.
All right.
Welcome to the Sweatbox.
Or the Sweat Lodge. All right, here we go. Hey folks, and welcome to Drinking Alone with Friends, a podcast where 3 friends drink alone together. My name's Chris.
My name's Obert.
And I'm new Obert, new Tud. Which one am I now? Who am I in this podcast? I don't know. I've lost track.
I think you're actually Kiwi now at this point. I think
Oh,
at this
okay.
point,
I'm new Kiwi. Okay. I'm old Jenna, new Kiwi. Okay. I got it.
Yep. Oh man.
Or Jordan.
Or
Jordan's
Jordan,
also
whatever,
an acceptable
call me
option.
Jordan if you want. You can call me whatever you want. I'm good with it. But yeah, I'm here.
Our entire podcast is based off the premise you need to listen to all the podcasts for them to make any sense. So it's like,
Yeah. It's just one inside joke building off the next inside joke building off the next inside joke. So new
We
listeners,
couldn't think of
get out
anything
here.
better to do. Yeah.
Yeah. You start at 1 or you don't start at all. It's how I do every TV show I watch.
Yep.
From 1
Exactly.
to 100.
But welcome back.
Yeah, welcome
Thank
back
you.
to the
I'm
virtual
happy to
world.
be here. Yeah, it feels weird to be talking into a microphone again, but it feels good. I wonder if any of your listeners were listeners of my podcast like a long time ago, or if we just had no crossover whatsoever. Even though I think we plugged each other quite a bit, just they don't cross over.
Not quite a bit. Literally every show. Every show you get shout
You have a
out,
contractual
so,
obligation with me,
right?
because
true.
I copywrit some material and did a Weird Al version of it, and then and now you have to
we're
say my
legally required to. But it got awkward when we couldn't just say "Wreck My Podcast" anymore.
Yeah. Well, you guys, I will say, you guys did it for a long time. I think it was only in the past week or two you actually said, should we even say Wreck My Podcast anymore? Or just Jordan? Jordan of the real world.
Yeah.
Jordan of Earth.
Yes. Exactly.
Jordan of Drinking Alone with Friends fame.
Yes. I'm probably more famous for that now than I ever was for Wreck My Podcast, for sure.
Well, I got to ask, do you miss it?
Yes and no. So for those of you, I guess I'll give a little backstory. We all met because I hosted a show called Wreck My Podcast, and then that we kind of, indie podcasters, we need to stick together, right? So we do a lot of cross promotion and stuff. I miss it because hanging out with my friends and getting to talk about stupid movies and stuff like that was a lot of fun. What I don't miss is everything that was around the 1 to 2 hours I recorded, right? Like this right here, this is great. Having to do research, having to watch terrible movies, having to spend hours editing because Cam could never stay on mic or someone would knock something over. Like that part I don't miss at all, but I definitely miss the part of like getting to hang out and talk and have fun, which is why I say yes to coming onto people's shows, because I'm a whore.
Well, also that's why we were pretty smart when the premise of our podcast involved zero research whatsoever.
And all drinking, which is
you guys did a great idea. You spend half your show talking about beers, and you spend half your show talking about whatever, like whatever you're watching or doing that week. Yeah,
Precisely.
exactly. Whatever Chris sees in his room that week. Talk about that for the other half. It's great. But I miss it. I miss it, but I don't miss it. I'll say that I've had a lot more free time which has been great. And I've been able to play video games a lot more, which is super cool. But I haven't gotten to talk with my friends as much. And having moved away from my hometown where they mostly all of them still live, it's kind of a bummer because that was like our one chance to like schedule it every week. And now I'm like, hey, you guys want to play like Fall Guys or something? But we're all so busy when we don't actually schedule time. It's like, which is smart for you guys to keep doing this because it's a great time to just plan to hang out, right?
That's our secret. That's literally like 90% of the reason why we do this show. Yeah, because if we didn't, I would never see Chris again.
Pretty much. That's pretty. No, you can see me multiple times a week on Twitch.
Yep, Beer Dad Game, Beer Dad Gamer, over there.
Yeah, and I gotta let you know, Jordan. Famously, you always say we need. You've been new Obert a couple times. You've been like, without Obert here, there's nothing to keep us on track. That's it. This week, my hands are off the steering wheel. We're just going. I'm just letting you take the show because it's always a good time when we just kind of riff.
I like that. Yeah. So. See, and that's those type of shows are always the best. Just see where it goes. Just let the runaway railroad go as far as it can go, and then clean up the mess afterwards. Right?
Yeah. Exactly. That's what all the hours of editing that I love to do every week is for.
Exactly. I'm going to try and take a few bathroom breaks during this. I'm going to try and accidentally unplug my mic. I'll give you some fun stuff to work with. It'll be great.
If you could just change your distance from your mouth to your microphone quite a bit throughout the recording, that would make things that would make things even more fun.
Oh, dude, yeah. I'm sure he doesn't listen to this show because he didn't listen to anyone's show, not even our own. But Cam was like on my show was the most notorious. Like there were parts where like, so when I moved to Texas, we had to start doing it remotely, which was kind of the downfall of everything. It made like editing a lot harder. There were times where all of a sudden in the background I'd hear like plates banging. I'm like, Cam, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm washing the dishes while we're podcasting. Like, could you just wait till after, please? So ridiculous.
That's another reason why I podcast. I can just get my dishes done while I'm doing it. It's great. It's great to block out that time.
What's better than listening to podcasts while you're doing like boring work is being on a podcast while you're doing boring work. It doesn't get any better than that.
Not at all. Not at all.
Man. So how's it going with you guys? I hear you every week, but I haven't talked to you in a while. How's everything going in your necks of the woods of this great state of America or great country of America?
I'm doing pretty good. We were just all swapping dog stories before.
Yeah.
The hit the record button. But I went for a long hike with my dogs this weekend, and so long that we ran out of water, which was a lot of fun because I have two like very hairy black dogs that get hot in the sun. So at one point I had a like 65, 70 pound dog strapped to my back that I was carrying down a mountain. She was fine, but she was just very thirsty and kept on wanting to stop in every shade patch. And I was like, we got to keep moving.
Isn't that the best when they just like defiantly sit down? My dog loves like, okay, you know how they say when it's like 100 degrees out, they're like, don't let your dogs walk on the concrete because it hurts their paws because it's like 120 degrees. My dog specifically goes out of her way to find those hot patches and then just like lays her whole bare belly on the ground, on the cement. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Dogs are hilarious. They're great.
Yeah. It's just like a sauna for your tummy,
Yeah.
It's a nice little
it's kind of like tanning, but just really quick tanning. Maybe we should all do it.
Just searing. Just a seared belly is what you go for.
I'll take my belly rare, please. Thank you.
Yeah. What weird thing has your dog done lately, Chris?
Oh, there's they've gotten into so Mac is, I don't know, 4 months old now, 5 months old, something like that, and he has gotten into the point where he like thinks he's a kid or a cat, one of the two, because he when if he's in the kitchen or whatever, my boys are getting better with him because they used to freak out and like run away and push his head down and stuff like that. They're getting better, but sometimes if he's jumpy, they'll climb up on the table. So like Mac just like starts climbing up on the table. So there's times where like I'll walk out from like putting Lucas to bed or whatever, and I'll be like, I'll look, and he's just standing on the table, wagging his his tail, like looking at me, and I'm like, Macaroni, you get down right now.
Oh, in his defense, you do have 4 cats, right?
That's very true. Yeah.
Following the lead for sure.
Yeah. It's like he doesn't have any other dogs in the house. So it's like, well, this is just what we do around here. We just climb on tables.
Just climb on tables.
So is the solution getting another dog? You're going to be starting pretty much a zoo over there, man.
Pretty much. 2 kids, 4 cats, a dog, more dogs coming.
Yeah. A dog with a low center of gravity. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Oh yeah.
My dog does a great trick where she gets, instead of jumping on a table, she gets a chronic ear infection every few weeks that we have to spend hundreds of dollars on. So that's a fun trick that my dog learned.
That's fun. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
It's great stuff. Yeah, we didn't teach it to her. She just learned it on her own.
Yeah, you got to get like some like Mexican pharmacy dog ear infection killer.
Oh man,
stuff.
yeah.
Like, just buy it in bulk.
We already have like these giant like supplement things we buy off Amazon for her that smell like fish, and that kind of helps a little bit. But we're pretty much moving to Western medicine now. I have to give her a pill every single night that helps with her little allergies. This is the most millennial, no children couple kind of thing I think I've ever done.
I mean, to be fair, you've probably spent more on medical expenses for your dog than I have on my kids. So
yeah, my wife was like, I don't ever remember my parents spending money on our dogs. I said, yeah, because they had children. When we don't have children, we don't have much of an excuse to not give the dog proper care from a vet. You know,
right?
But it's great. Wouldn't trade it for the world.
There you go.
Yeah, but all this talk of dogs is making Chris thirsty.
There we go. I told you I wasn't going to be the one to do it today. I was waiting. I was like, hands off.
I gave you the chance. I gave you the 2 seconds. So I was like, you know what? It's that I have that.
Somebody will say it eventually.
The instinct has not left me, even after a year of not podcasting. You gotta move it along, people.
Can't make it happen. Yeah, I mean, I am thirsty. I got home from work, and you know, need to quench my thirst. Just don't know what I want to have yet. Let's see. Well, I went to my beer fest, by the way. I don't know if we want to say this for after beers, but it was a lot of fun.
No structure, no form to this episode.
No,
you can just say whatever you want.
You've piqued my curiosity. I want to know about this beer fest.
There's no structure. I can do whatever I want. No. So went to a divine moment of clarity. Oh my goodness, it took me forever to remember that. It was pretty cool. If you didn't listen to the last episode, it was put on by Divine Barrel is it this next episode? I don't know. The time is all messed up.
Well, I haven't heard about this yet, so it must be.
It's coming up. Okay.
the last episode.
But we're recording this one a week early because this podcast is going to be out on Thursday. But
I forgot.
But don't worry, our listeners will all have heard about it.
Yes, all your listeners. I will, except for Jordan.
Yes. Well, you guys are gonna get such a kick out of this. No. Well, it was a lot of fun. So if you didn't hear, it's put on by Divine Barrel. It was a celebration of clear beers to beat the heat. And it was kind of like, instead of like a normal beer fest where you run around and get like 2 ounces or 3 ounces of beer and like chug that and move to the next one, they gave you like half pours essentially, and it was cool. Definitely some elements of the normal beer fest that I missed. Like, instead of, you know, if you go to a beer fest, there's like either someone on the team or a brewer from that brewery there to like pour the beer. Not so much here, because it was just kind of like they had them all on tap at Divine Barrel, so it was like not quite the same atmosphere, which was the point.
Oh, so it was like just in a tap room, basically.
Yeah,
where this festival was.
So you were paying, instead of a beer fest, this was more like like going to a family like a Dave and Buster's and getting an all-you-can-play pass, pretty much.
Yeah,
kind of.
Okay,
except
cool.
there were drink tickets.
There were drink tokens.
Gotcha.
Which,
so you don't even, it's like not even getting the all-you-can-play pass. It's just regular Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But
it's like a flight button tokens. Okay, I get it. Nice.
Right. But it was pretty cool. It was cool. You know, the beers were good, which, you know, probably drank some beers that I normally wouldn't have, like a couple really good Pilsners, some lagers, and then they had some West Coast IPAs, which I almost threw the flag on. I was like, these aren't like clear, but they were still pretty good. There was a
Wait,
couple.
When you say clear, you mean beers are actually all clear in color?
Like, no, see-through. Just like no haze.
I get it. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Like
I was
T-Rex.
what they...
T-Rexes go nuts at this beer fest.
Gotcha. For a second, I was like, were they reverse color dyeing out? Like, what is happening here?
They all look like
Science.
water. Yeah.
Yeah.
We call that moonshine down here.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all water, artificial flavoring, and vodka, and they call it beer.
Grain whiskey beer. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was pretty cool. I mean, it was an excuse to go drink, I don't know, 90 ounces of beer. So, hey, I'll take that any day of the week. But in true Chris fashion, go ahead.
No heavenly pancakes, though.
No heavenly pancakes. No.
It's not a clear beer.
Not a clear beer. No.
So like, how did they? Because you've brought them on as like because you love their porters and stouts and stuff. Mostly stouts, we discussed. But how do their clear beers do? Like, good? Thumbs up? Thumbs down?
Yeah. So oddly enough, like their clear beer, I don't even know if they had one on tap. Now that I think about it,
They just hosted it. They didn't.
They hosted
they
a
didn't have
bunch.
a single one.
No, they must have had one, and I just can't remember it off the top of my head. But the clear beers that I had were very good. There was one called Hank, which was supposed to be a playoff of Hank Hill. It had the beer he drinks in the show, which I don't remember because I've only watched like 5 episodes of King of the Hill. But like whatever that beer is, it's supposed to be a play on that. That was actually pretty good. That was one of the standouts of like the whole.
People are going to kill me for this, but I've never watched King of the Hill either. Is it a fictional beer they do, or is it because I know they're in Texas, so it could be Lone Star?
No, I think it's a fictional beer. I don't think it's a real beer. Yeah.
Okay.
Number 2, I guess. I don't think anybody's really good. I don't think we have a large listener population of King of the Hill fans, so you might be
I hear
safe.
it's good. Yeah.
All I know is "Dang It, Bobby" and "Propane." Like those are that's the main
The Discord is
takeaways.
going to be blowing up with all of our crossover King of the Hill fans.
Yeah, I think there's something about a dog whose name is Ladybird, and I think that's like a lake in Austin.
Yep, Ladybird. That's a thing.
They're all just shouting the name of this beer into their phones right now.
Ober had to go let his dogs out.
Yeah, it was mandatory.
Yeah,
time has come.
Actually, it is almost exactly 20 minutes into the podcast.
He knows his dogs.
I told you 7:30.
Yep, you knew it.
She's laying down though.
Okay.
I think she'll be okay.
I don't
know.
Remind me later. I have a really good Baja Men joke whenever Ober does have to go take the dogs outside.
I have no idea what that could be referencing. Which of their many hits?
Yeah, they have their greatest hits just has way too many dog reference songs on it.
Oh man. Well, in response to me having Divine Barrel on here for their stouts all the time, it's about 90 degrees outside and inside this house. So of course I have to bring on a Divine Barrel stout. And this is Comfort in Darkness, which is their bourbon barrel-aged imperial stout. Actually, Ober, can you make sure I haven't had this before I...
Sure, yeah.
Because it does sound familiar now that I'm reading the name.
I know, and I did this to you this weekend when I bought a new beer. I'm like, I might have done this one, but
yeah.
What was it called? Comfort in Darkness or something?
Yeah, it sounds familiar now that I hold it up, but...
You have not checked this beer in.
Beautiful. So I'm pretty excited about it. Obviously, 11% alcohol because this is a life choice I'm making. Aged for 18 months in Booker's bourbon barrels. There you go, Tud. Tud always asks. It's like, oh, it's barrel aged. What kind of barrel? Like no one knows.
Booker's pretty good. My dad really likes Booker.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Fan of podcast Jordan's dad.
Yeah.
It's funny because on the Untapped description says 11 months in freshly emptied Heaven Hill bourbon barrels. So it's like,
ooh,
that's interesting that there's a little bit of discrepancy there, but both excellent bourbons. So
I wonder if this is like a different batch then.
Maybe
small batch, 2023 exclusive.
Canned on 11/22/22. So this has been sitting
2022 exclusive.
Yes. So I'm pretty excited. I have to get the taste of all those clear beers out of my mouth, even though they were good. Need to go back to I keep telling myself, I'm like, you know what? I'm done with stouts. And then that's all I bring. It's all I don't know. I'm hooked on stouts right now. I'm hooked on phonics, but phonics are stouts. Definitely bourbony. That's like immediate can opening. definitely. This is gonna be good.
At 11%, I would expect nothing less. Oh yeah. Is that the cheat so that you don't have the head pour? Just get a bourbon barrel-aged stout? No head on that bad boy.
No, nothing. No head. I mean, there's bubbles, but that's about it. But Darkest Night, of course. 1 billion SRM. Wait, it doesn't tell me the SRM, right? Nope, 1 billion SRM. As you can expect. Oh, hold on. I don't want to speak out of turn. Oh, yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, there's no light coming through that bad boy.
No T-Rex. No, sorry, T-Rex.
T-Rex is taking a nap and not waking up at all.
Uh-huh.
Yep. So, very strong bourbon smell. Very strong bourbon smell. So, I'm hoping it's pretty good. I'm trying to see if it gives a big long. I'm not Tud, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but complex with notes of roasted coffee, rich chocolate, Oakley vanilla, which is like vanilla from California.
Is Oakley like Stickley's brother, cousin?
I was gonna make the same joke, Jordan. I was
nice, good.
I knew as soon as I saw your eyes, I'm like, I know exactly the joke he's gonna make.
I was like, I'm either going for Professor Oak or Stickley. It's one of the two.
Yeah. And a touch of bourbon. So there you go. Oakley. Do you think he's buffer than Stickley, right? Like, there's
totally
no way, shape, or form about it. Like,
yeah, Stickley is like the little, like, he's the guy who's on the treadmill all the time. Oakley, he's the one who's in the weight room. You know, he's jacking up right there.
Yeah. Does anybody else remember the Stickley song, or is it just me?
Do you know like what his zip code was?
Yeah.
Or no?
No, yeah, I know the whole thing.
Okay, well then you got to perform it.
Write to me, Stickley, P.O. Box 963, New York City, New York State, 10108. Boom. Done.
There you go.
That cannot be a legitimate like address because there's too much rhyming Is it really? There's too much rhyming going in there. I feel like that cannot be real.
You used to be able to send him letters or something. That's why he told you to write to him.
One way to figure this out. We got to get a letter.
Got to write a letter? Oh,
let's
do it.
They got to have a forwarding address 15 years later, right?
That P.O. box goes somewhere. Somebody's got it. Right?
Imagine like the people who live in the Breaking Bad house that get pizzas thrown on the top all the time. Just some poor sap has the P.O. box for Stickley. Just still getting mail.
From 35-year-old drunk people on a podcast.
Seriously, yeah.
Yeah, I imagine their mountain of mail is a little bit less than ours at this point. Like, how many people really still know that P.O. box, or at least are curious enough to send something? Well, now I really want to know.
I mean, 1 in 3 Americans, if this is any indication.
That's true. Our sample size.
Yeah.
And 100% of people on the East Coast.
Exactly.
It's true.
Oh, man. All right. Anyways, write Stickley a letter, everybody.
Tell him we sent you.
Tell him Drinking Alone with Friends sent you.
If you use the promo code Drinking Alone with Friends 10, get 10% off your Stickley.
Oh, man. All right. Well, here we go. Cheers. The bubbles are gone. No bubbles. Here we go. There's a bug in here somewhere. I don't know where it went. I hear it, though.
As long as it doesn't go in your beer, I think you're good.
So it is strong, definitely strong. 11%, you expect nothing else. But unlike, I believe it was last week's beer, I've done 2 barrel-aged stouts in the middle of summer. Good job, me. Go team. Go team. Unlike last week's beer, this is strong, but doesn't have like, it has some alcohol bite, but not quite the same. This one flows way better than the last one I had. So you get hit with like the bourbon alcohol goodness up front, and then it does kind of give way to some of those roasted malts it's talking about.
You could actually taste the maltiness in it, because that would be like killer for me for a barrel-aged stout with some malt to it, because I love malt flavor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to decide if it's just like more the coffee. I don't think it's necessary. I wouldn't call this malty, but you can get some of like the roasted notes in it. It does sweeten up a little bit at the end, which is kind of nice. Kind of cuts back on some of the bourbon with some of those chocolatey vibes that it was talking about. It's really good. It's really good. I mean, Divine Barrel may be my favorite North Charlotte cheese and rice. My favorite Charlotte.
Already drunk.
2 sips, 3 sips.
It fermented a little bit more in the fridge. Now it's up to like a 40%. It's a straight bourbon now.
I do think it's funny though that you went to like you love their stouts or whatever, and you went there to this brewfest or at least tap takeover.
Yeah.
Specifically because of how much you love Divine Barrel. But it sounds like you didn't have a single one of their beers there.
No.
And like you weren't like in love with any of them to be like, I'm gonna have a can of this on the podcast. You're like, more stouts for me, please.
I should have, and I probably maybe they did make a cold IPA that is actually named A Divine Moment of Clarity, which I have in my fridge right now. Probably should have brought that on, but you know what? I'm a rebel.
Synergy be damned.
6 episodes from now, you'll have it. But,
but no, I've had these cans, and this is a special occasion, and I didn't want to drink a whole Bourbon County Stout right now, but even though this isn't much smaller.
I was going to say, what's the difference? Like 1% in alcohol between the two of those?
Oh, it's more beer, isn't it? How many beer is this? This is like
it's like an extra 0.9.
Oh, is it only a 16.9?
Probably.
Oh,
I don't know.
An English pint.
They did do a good job making the bottles look bigger. I will say that.
Yeah, I guess so. Huh.
Yeah, because that's what I always thought too. I always thought it looked big, but then the bourbon counties were always like deceiving in that manner.
Yep, 0.9 fluid ounces. I can't talk today. Talking, doing the bad talk.
Not important on a podcast.
No, not at all.
But it's really good. It's really good. I'm gonna give it a very formidable
dramatic pause.
2.75.
4 1/4. So
respectable.
Didn't get the 4.5.
No,
thinking about
I was thinking about it. It was probably like a 4.32 on the new Untapped. No,
didn't quite lean that way.
It's very good. It's very good. I don't know. Sorry, Divine Barrel. I have no notes for you. No notes. Just 4.25. Not perfect. No notes.
See, so I have a problem when I bring these beers on the podcast because the beer you described, I've had like a dozen of different beers like this. And I'm like, how do I differentiate them when I review them on the podcast?
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, chocolatey, cacao, vanilla-ish, coffee, like, double-digit percent ABV, motor oil thick. I'm like, it's tough. It's tough to really. Yeah. So I could see how this just is like 4.25 because it's another one of those.
I mean, they're all good. Well, except for the one I had last week, but they're all good. But yeah, it is tough.
But as we discussed, that wasn't a stout, right? That was a porter.
That was a porter. That is correct. That is correct. That was a porter. Yep. Yeah, because I definitely have. I mean, we talk about it with the hazy IPAs. How many times can you say it's an orange juice bomb thing? Like how many? They're delicious. They're all good.
Maybe we'll find out tonight. I don't know. Spoiler. Okay, 421 is the number of check-ins.
421?
Yeah.
So close. Damn it.
So close.
Someone uncheck it in. Say nice.
2 people, I guess, and then you could be 420.
Yeah. I feel like this is a very good beer. I don't know if Divine Barrel has the hop pipe that a lot of other breweries have.
Well, how crowded was the beer fest, I guess? Was everybody there like wearing their Divine Barrel t-shirts?
Actually, a lot of Blink-182 t-shirts, oddly enough.
Interesting. That is not a crossover I would have thought for like a stout heavy brewery.
They did. Now, Blink-182 was in the area. I don't know where they were. They were in the area like last weekend, so like maybe just new Blink-182 t-shirts. But yeah, I saw multiple, and I only noticed because I was like, my friends at that went to that concert.
But where's the crossover with the Taylor Swift Eras tour coming through? Like, there's no Venn diagram crossover there with these beer drinkers.
I don't think we have a stadium big enough for Taylor Swift.
Gotcha.
The Panthers? No. She don't mess around with that.
She needed to do 3 nights there.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it's a 4.14.
So close.
Damn it! Oh.
4.13.
Oh man!
Way to not leave the door open at all.
I thought you had it.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, see,
man,
that's how you know. Like that's number one. Charlotte drinkers don't know what they're talking about. Number 2, I mean, it doesn't have the hop pipe. If this was a barreled Souls beer, it would be a 4.72 or something silly like that. So,
well, you only gave it a 4.25. I mean,
that's true.
You weren't that far off.
That's true, but I don't think I've ever given a barreled Souls beer as high as they get sometimes. But they're very good though.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, let me put it on the board
Put
here.
it on the board. 0.01.
Oh, man. We're going to have to be playing darts like Ted Lasso over here to beat Chris. It's going to be insane.
That was a good episode.
Yes.
Chris hasn't watched that show, and I really think he should.
You know what's funny? Okay, here's this little story about Ted Lasso. You guys know Kreger. He was on my podcast. You know, we make fun of him sometimes. That's the fun part about being friends with Kreger, is you get to make fun of him. And he, for the longest time, told me, you need to watch Ted Lasso. It's like the greatest show ever. You need to watch Ted Lasso. And I'm like, how good couldn't this be, right? It can't be that great of a show. I started watching it, and it's probably one of my favorite shows ever made. I think that if you're a fan of Scrubs, because it's Bill Lawrence, right? If you're a fan of Scrubs and you thought Scrubs couldn't get any better, this is Scrubs, but perfected in every aspect. Like the way that they handle comedy, like heart, they tackle anxiety, like every single thing is tackled in such a perfect, fluid manner. I think it's one of the most perfectly written, acted, and produced shows I've probably ever seen in my life. And I watch a lot of television.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think it's pretty well known that Scrubs is one of my favorite TV shows. So like,
it's Scrubs vibes all the way, just with soccer and English people. It's amazing. It's so good.
See, I hate the English.
Oh well, but they say such funny things.
That's what's kind of part of the fun of the show, though, is like, you know, the main character doesn't know anything about the English when it starts, and he likes to make fun of them all the time.
Yes,
and you'd be like,
that's why you have your narrator kind of being with you as the unknowing person of being like, you guys do that here? That's really weird, you know?
That's on Apple TV. Is that where
it's definitely worth, because the show's essentially over now. They did 3 seasons and they kind of were like, we'll probably never pick it back up again. But
no, they like concluded.
They said they may do something as like a spin-off or something like that. Who knows? But like they're like, this story arc is finished. I would say it's worth a month of getting Apple TV Plus to be able to just binge, and you'll want to binge through it. It's so good. It's not my handle, but it needs to be said.
Well, you can't be your handle because I've already made it one, which Chris, you know, but he didn't get the hard sell of like, if Scrubs was even more scrubbier than Scrubs.
Yeah, that was very good sell job. You should use it as your handle.
Yeah. You couldn't sell it to Chris any more than that.
No, you should go back over it. When you use this as a handle, take Jordan's blurb right there. Just insert it.
I made it a handle like 3 years ago.
Still.
Just go back. Oh, I see what you're saying. Go back and take the clip.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, I'm going to have to... a friend at work was talking about it as well. But again, she did a terrible job selling it. So I'm sold now. She
didn't mention Scrubs once.
She didn't mention Scrubs at all. But who's thirsty next?
As our guest, Jordan, I think.
All right.
I think it's up to you.
Well, going with the theme of clear beers, because it is summer and I listen to the weather, unlike Chris over there, I have a Pilsner, which I know, a very unique beer style, I guess. Not really. But
one we don't have on this show is often.
I was going to say, I do love lagers and Pilsners. I'm really getting into just lighter beers. Like, I don't think I've bought a stout in a long time, and when I went to the store, most of what I bought were just like straight like wheat beer, Pilsner, like these type of beers. I'm like, you know what, this is what I need in my life right now. I need a little bit of just like non-complexity, some easy stuff here. So I didn't have a chance to go by my favorite brewery in my town, unfortunately, so I got the next best thing, which is another brewery I really like here in Dallas called Manhattan Project Beer Company. And a lot of their stuff is kind of themed around like as you would like science, like Oppenheimer type stuff, you know, as the movie's coming out, our synergy there, things like Black Matter, Half-Life, Atomic, Hazy IPA, stuff like that. But the one I got here that's a Pilsner is called Necessary Evil. So we're going to see how this one is, a Pilsner from this brewery that I really, really like, that does a lot of heavy stuff, but I don't think I've ever had their light stuff here, which is cool. So I'm going to pour this bad boy in right now. And as you can see, that is definitely all just straight, clear, see-through. You can see my thumb on the other side, as white as I am. So I'm just so Tud, Tud, just so we can say it. Look at that bad boy. That's light coming straight through that.
T-Rex could see you a mile away.
A mile away. Yeah, on the other side of Isla Nublar, he's coming to get you. So I'll give this guy a shot here, see how it is. Solid. It's a Pilsner. Nothing to write home about. This is a beer that, having a barbecue in the backyard, I would go for this one. It's got a little bit more of like an effervescent taste, what you guys call the Pringles. It's got a little bit more of that going on than some other Pilsners. Do you guys call it Pringles? Is that your podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's not our podcast. It's Chris.
Okay, for a second there, I thought I was quoting the wrong podcast friends, but okay, good to know.
You have more than one podcast friend? How dare you?
Sorry. So this on the back here, it says pairs well with tacos, yes, and pool. I don't know why that's
the band. It's got to be the band.
It's gotta
Is it
be.
the band? But it says yes, and it has a little like, I don't know if you can see that, but like a little icon, like
speech
a mess,
bubble.
Speech bubble. So I'm assuming it's like Jim Carrey from Yes Man would really like this. I don't know.
Probably that.
It says necessary evil entertains the palate without fatiguing it. At first sip, you will detect a hint of floral character that immediately tells you this isn't your ordinary Pilsner. It's a dry and crisp with a bit of our signature style to make a memorable. Necessary evil is refreshing in any situation. So I think it's pretty good. I don't get this style a lot because I think that they pretty much flared up for about 3 weeks 5 years ago, the brute style of beers. That was big for a very, very short time. But I really like that style of beer, and this kind of reminds me of it a little bit. It's pretty dry. It's got a little bit of a bite to it. I like that. I think that's good. So,
do you get that florally aspect they were talking about?
Very little. It almost borders on that honey flavor. You know when you get a honey beer and it kind of has that like almost like you got like a rose in your mouth a little bit. It's kind of got that a little bit, but it's very, very minuscule, very far on the back end. So that's nice. I probably give it like a 3.75. It's nothing to write home about. It's solid. It's good. I would drink this beer. This would be like a go-to beer, right? Like if I was at a party or it was on tap somewhere. Like if I didn't want to go as far down as a Blue Moon or something, like, get Necessary Evil. It's pretty good. So I'll go 3.75. Nothing too crazy to get it up in the 4 range, but it is solid. Now, for Untapped, I haven't checked this in, have I? I'm almost positive I've not had this beer before.
Let's find out.
But I'm really bad at remembering beers I've had.
Let's see if I can spell necessary. You have not checked it in.
Okay,
No.
Then I probably have not had it, or I was very drunk when I had it. Manhattan Beer Project, or Manhattan Project Beer Company, I think they, at least out here, have a little bit of hop hype, but I don't think a lot of people are going to go for this one, and I think that they're more known for their IPAs out here. So I'm going to say 3.79 is what I think I'm going to go with.
Well, you're not right, so you're not even on the board, but it's a 3.65.
I didn't go far enough down. I knew it wasn't going to be super high for being a Pilsner. These styles, they're criminally underrated, in my opinion.
They are.
They are.
They suffer from like the flight board problem, which is like you get a flight, you're like, here's my double IPA, my triple IPA, my 13% stout, and my Necessary Evil. Like, you're not going to remember that beer. You're not going to taste it.
It's such a bummer. It's such a bummer because I've been loving these so much. Like, I feel like I enjoy beers like Chris had that are very complex and heavy and all that. But when I've been drinking lately, I'm just like, I want something that I don't have to think about, right? Like, just throw it down my gullet and let it be.
No.
But I'm going to say the same thing to you I said to Chris, which is like, your rating was pretty much in line with what Untapped has. So it's like, you can't throw that much shade.
You're right. No, you're right. I can't throw that much shade, and I should be rating this higher. You know what? I should be a part of the solution, not the problem. Let me get off my soapbox.
Five bottle caps.
5 bottle caps. Give it a 6. Give it a 6, guys. Yeah. We're taking it to 11.
Yeah, that's the paid Untapped plus. You get to rate out of 6 at that point.
Exactly. So that's my Necessary Evil. I will pass it over to you, Obert. I don't think I have much more to say about a Pilsner other than yum yum.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Okay, so I'm back. I got my favorite Montana brewery, Imagination. Haven't had them on in a while because they don't make it up here that often. And I'm not going to bring old beer, especially old IPAs, onto the podcast. But this one caught my eye because, and again, it wouldn't be an episode of Drinking Alone with Friends unless somebody brought an IPA on. But this is their Nebula Orange Cream Milkshake New England Style Double. And I was like, it's got some orange cream. It's not just a regular IPA. There's something to talk about here. So we'll crack it open. Can 622, so nice and fresh. Let's take a look here.
It's a lot of words for this beer.
In the description?
Yeah, because it's like double milkshake, New England, IPA, orange cream.
Yeah, it's one of those OCM DIPAs. Here we go. And again, for Tud, we'll take a look at exactly how hazy. How much of a milkshake did this milkshake shake?
If a milkshake could shake shakes.
Right.
That looks great. That color looks wonderful.
I think you're safe. I think you're safe from the T-Rex.
I think so as well.
Sure. I think you're even safe from the Velociraptor, to be honest. They're lost in the fog.
As long as you don't go in the tall grass, you're good.
Yep.
Right.
Or into a kitchen. They can open doors.
Yeah. They love ladles.
Hate freezers.
Okay.
They hate those freezers. And also don't put them on an airplane in your dreams.
No, never do that. I get more milkshake on the nose than orange creamsicle. Definitely get that lactose aroma, but we'll dive in. We'll see how the tastes are. First reaction lives up to the name. Definitely orange creamy. But I also forget until I crack into one of these how I'm just not really that into the whole milkshake IPA thing. They're just too sweet, I got this because I love Imagination. They had new stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to just do their next Lupu juice because I've done Lupu juice at least 2 or 3 times on the pod. Let me do the orange cream. I wish I just had the plain old Lupu juice, the hazy New England IPA. It's just it's great. If you're an orange creamsicle guy, you'd be like, hey, this beer tastes like ice cream, which is fun. But on a day where I'm in my condo with the AC turned off, I just want a nice cold hazy, and I don't need that extra sugar and lactose from the milkshake style. Not to knock it too much. It's still delicious. It's still good if you're into this. I won't knock it too much for my rating because execution, they did what was promised on the can, It's really my fault for getting a beer that I wasn't really into.
I got the brown ale. I got put it a 1 on Untapped. I hate brown ales.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I saw that on Instagram the other day. That exactly.
Yeah, so did I. I don't remember who posted it, but I saw that too. Are we following the same people? What is happening here?
Bruuskas Brews.
You follow, what is that? What's his name? Because I talked to him before, but I forget his first name now. Bruuskas is his last name.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. He sent me some beer before that he made.
Oh, really? Oh, that is really cool. Oh, no.
I'm really hoping he gets his beer stuff together in the sense because I know he wants to open a brewery and stuff. So that'd be super cool.
Yeah. I can't remember his name either, but we used to be closer back when I was really good about Instagram. But super cool guy. But yeah, I saw that the orders a brown ale. Oh, I hate brown ales. 0.25 out of 5.
Yep. So good.
Well, at least he gets a shout out for the good content.
Yeah.
Here on the pod.
We may not know your first name, but we know your handle. That's all that matters, right?
And it was that again for our listeners, Bruuskas?
Bruuskas
Brews?
Yes. We'll put a link in the show notes.
Are we gonna though? Okay, you drop the link in the Discord.
I'll put it in the
show
Discord.
notes.
Do show notes even exist? Because I hear people all the time just say, we'll put a link in the show notes. But does that even exist?
I don't know. I assume they do. I don't know. I
never check. It's like the cat from Big Bang Theory, whatever that's called. Does it even exist?
Yeah. I put little Easter eggs in the show notes to see if anybody will find them. And no one has. So I don't think anyone actually really enjoys these links as
now
much
you're
as
going to get everyone looking.
Really, the show notes are just for me, to be honest.
You mean people aren't really going to our show notes to learn about my power?
I don't know.
My power wash. Austin.
Maybe not. Maybe that's not how they're finding your Discord, your Twitch stream either.
No, that's impossible.
Austin, that's his name. Thank you for looking that up.
Yes, I'm dropping in the show notes right now. No, show notes in the show notes.
Do you do the show notes? It's just the transcription of the whole podcast one time. So it's like the longest show notes ever.
Yeah, that would be great. Like, you don't need to listen to this podcast. Just read it.
Just read it. Just read the podcast.
Anyway, back to this beer. Imagination, they always kill it. And this is good. Again, shame on me for not getting the beer I really wanted to get, but didn't feel like I could review on the show. sometimes sacrifices have to be made per podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And it includes drinking the second best beer from the brewery that you could find. Some people would just go for the stout anyway, as opposed to the one that directly ties to the brewfest they were at.
Yep.
But, I'm more dedicated, I think, to the bit. So
I'll drink the other one after this. Fine.
There we go. This is a good beer. 4.0. Okay. It's tasty. I still would order this, I think, over most stuff on tap. Be like, oh, something different. Cool. Got to give them props for trying a little different. And I think the milkshake kind of fad is a little dying down a little bit now. I think we're seeing a little bit less of those. So props to Imagination for keeping it going.
They just got a shipment in of lactose that they had to get rid of. What do we do with this?
They had all these extra cows. I don't know what they were going to do with the lactose, but... All right, so what have we got on, how many check-ins we got here?
Oh, man, you got 27 check-ins.
I'm ready to be number 28, baby. Does it even give you the average?
It does.
Okay.
I think it's over 10 maybe gives you average.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, I got to hit that double bullseye, right? If I want to have a chance here, I got to be exactly right.
I mean, if you want the point all to yourself, if you want to split a point, then
Then I got two other numbers I could choose.
Right,
it's true.
Three out of 500. It's fine. You're fine.
Don't I get a 0.14 handicap since I'm not on here all the time?
I think that's how it works. Okay. Yeah, you are. You're not on the board. I realize that.
Oh wow, you're not on the board.
You haven't made it.
No, I'm not very good at guessing. I'm very bad at that.
Yeah.
That's why I never went on Deal or No Deal. I'm very bad at guessing.
Yeah. You would be the $1 bid on Wheel of Fortune.
Like, well, at least I had a good time.
No. Price is Right.
Yes.
Wrong show.
$1 in the third guessing spot.
Yeah. Just leave that $2 bid open. Anyway, when in doubt, I got to go Montana area code 406.
So it sounds like you guys are going to have to do a duel to the death because it's 4.07.
So close.
Both of you
all right, on the
0.01
board.
off. That's crazy.
Thank you, Montana.
Thank you,
crazy.
Montana.
Wow. And it's funny because right now on the board, Chris has 31 and I am at 30. And I was like, this is it. I've never been anywhere but third place on this leaderboard.
Yep.
I've only ever been bronze medalist. I'm the meme of the bronze medalist chugging champagne. This is my chance to move into that middle podium, but not today.
Nope.
But it's any days that we close on Tud is a good day. So
does that mean you both get a point then? So you get closer to Tud?
We both get a point.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Damn. I thought, see, that's what's been happening. I'm like, 0.01? I got this. Nope. Damn Montana area code.
It saved me. I've done that guess before, the 406, and it hasn't worked out. This is the first time. I think it's earned me a point.
Oh, I love it. So good.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, that's pretty cool for you guys to both get a point. What is Tud at right now?
I don't remember. I can't read.
It's honestly impossible to tell.
Something higher than 31.
Barely though.
But we're not sure. Yeah. Really. It starts with a 3. I can read that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I go on like a 2, well, no, we do bi-weekly now. If I go on like a 4-month spree, like we'll be basically tied.
Yeah.
So it's Tud's number is kind of like the hanging chad of your guys' stuff right now. Like, we don't know where it's at, Like, it could be 38, it could be 31. Who knows?
Like,
right. There's some controversy around some of Tud's points.
Which
got swept
honestly.
away when we cleaned the whiteboard. Tud kind of forgets about that when he says how much he loves the old whiteboard. There was some asterisks next to his name.
There was definitely like I always contest that if someone were to, by the way, still looking for someone to go back and actually do the actual tally mark. If you were to do from the beginning of when we started this bit, I think I am far and clear ahead of Tud. But
I honestly think, Chris, I'm sorry to tell you this, but the gap from when we started doing the guessing to when we got the whiteboard is much smaller, I think, than you remember.
I feel like it's 12 years.
To how many?
I feel like we
we have like literally 100 points on this whiteboard. I mean,
yeah, but think about the double points,
Yeah, You guys are on what, episode like 1536 right now, right?
Yeah.
I feel like literally we've been doing this since the dawn of time. Like it was like we started the podcast. The first thing you hear is Tud's NFL draft, and then we introduce the whiteboard. I think that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you guys listen really close to that opening scene of 2001: A Space Odyssey, when the universe is blossomed, you can hear Drinking Alone with Friends going on in the background.
And they didn't have
We're
whiteboards
right
back then.
As the caveman is throwing the bone in the air, I'm secretly in the background writing tally marks.
Yes, exactly. That's how you guys kept before. You got the bones as the tally marks, and that's how you were keeping track of it. Yeah. Didn't think I'd bring Stanley Kubrick into this, huh?
No, I mean that's why we really need Jordan for all the cultural references.
Yeah, no,
really.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
very cultured.
Without you, we wouldn't know Stick Stickley's PO box.
I mean, I think that was Chris, but
That was definitely me.
No, but I mean, you always bring it back to the pop culture from the 90s.
Yes,
you know?
I've never. Yeah, leave it to me to bring back things that should have laid rest in the past.
Oakley was your brainchild. Yes, that is true.
Right.
Oh man, did you guys remember Face? Did you watch?
Oh yeah,
was that?
I remember.
Yeah, Face. Oh, it was great.
Is this like a Nick tune?
It was a Nick Jr. thing, and I only know about it because my siblings were like a bit younger than me, so they would keep watching Nick Jr. a little bit past the time when I probably would have moved out of it. But like in between episodes of shows, there'd just be like the whole screen would be a face, and he'd be like, "Hey guys, go do stuff, be good kids," da 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 da. Like just telling you good uplifting words from Face.
I do. Now that you say that, I remember that because you'd be watching. It would be this time of year. It'd be like mid-July. You're on summer vacation. You have nothing to do but watch Nickelodeon all day, and you're like watching, your third episode of Blue's Clues at 11 a.m.
Yeah, you're like a 12-year-old. You think you're all cool. Dora the Explorer's on, and like when she's like waits for you to answer, you're just like, "You idiot!" It's behind you. Hey, there's Face in the chat. That's a cold face. That's a cold face right there.
The ultimate Nick Jr. face compilation. Oh boy, it's a different meaning on
this is how
the
Chris
dark web.
spends his showers.
Yeah, that I get that. Yes. Oh man, that's craziness. Well, how does it feel to be winners, guys? Because I don't know what it feels like.
Amazing.
Pretty good. Yeah. It feels sweeter that we are double winners, I think.
Yes.
And that it's .01.
Double the pleasure, double the fun, double the points, double something else.
Double McGum.
Double McGum. Yeah. There you go.
I think that's how it goes.
Yeah. All right. Well,
hey, I thought you said you weren't going to move this along.
You know what? I tried. I let us linger as long as I possibly could.
I was kind of testing it out. I was like, yeah.
I knew you were.
I was kind of testing it out.
You know I'm not going to do it. Like, come on.
I was like, George, I'm just like gripping, white knuckling my chair, trying not to transition as hard as I can. And,
do you guys want to? Do we want to do a really quick fourth beer review? Just right fast.
Yeah,
sure.
I got this cold IPA. I want to hear about
All right,
it.
yeah, okay. So real quick, since I apparently was really thirsty and chugged that first one, I do have a moment of divine clarity from Divine Barrel. Since I was supposed to drink this, I went off script. It was my own. That was my own pipe bomb. That's what it was. That's my own.
You just can't say no to those delicious.
That's
beers.
a great reference right there. I hope everyone who listens gets that pipe bomb reference.
No one does except for you and Tud. That's it.
Oh, I don't. I'm guessing it's a wrestling.
It is a wrestling. The greatest wrestling moment. What's funny is probably one of the greatest wrestling moments ever with a person who I am not really a fan of anymore.
Anymore? Like, were you a fan back in the day? I mean, who wasn't, I guess, but like...
CM Punk was cool back in the day for sure, but I just feel like any clout he had, he gave it up. I'm like, he just is such a jerk lately. I'm like, dude, what are you doing with your life? Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't think he was necessarily like a good guy to begin with, but yeah, no. I definitely
Did you ever watch his documentary back, like right after he left WWE, The Greatest Ever or whatever it was called?
No.
Of course that's what it's called because he's the most arrogant man on the planet.
He really is. He really is. I mean... I don't know. I've actually, this is funny. since Jordan's here. I've been playing Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. I'm trying to catch a fucking Squirtle, and it's taking forever. Anyways, so I've just been watching like old wrestling like pay-per-views, and I just picked SummerSlam. I don't know why. I just picked SummerSlam, and I've been watching them over and over again. Dude, it was like I get the tingles like now. I get the tingles now just watching some of that stuff. I'm like, oh man, this is
the big four.
This is the golden day of wrestling. Like,
what years were you talking about? Like when you go older, like how far back are you going?
2000. I think I started at 2002, which is
okay.
Rock versus Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, so coming.
Oh no, Rock versus Booker T. No, was that 2001? Whatever that one was. 2001, I think maybe.
So you're coming like right out of. See, that's where I started watching. I came right out of Attitude Era and started watching around 2000, 2001 when like right after WCW got acquired. So it was probably like around 2001, I think. But it was right after WCW got acquired is when I started watching. And I've probably told this story before, but like I always thought it was so crazy because Sting's son went to my school, so it was always super weird because I'd be like going back to watch these WCW things and there'd be Sting, and then I'd see him like at a football game coaching people and stuff. I'd be like,
oh, that's so cool.
This is weird. He looks weird without his face paint. This is just too much for me.
Put the face paint back on. No.
Yeah, I'm like, you need to put that on, man.
See, I was definitely like a middle to late Attitude Era guy, so like I stopped watching around 2003, like when Brock beat The Rock at SummerSlam, which I actually just watched the other day. When that happened, that was kind of like my falling out, like because I was a huge Rock fan. I love The Rock, like I still do, and but I don't know, just watching some of these old matches and now there's matches that like I knew happened, but I'd never seen because like I wasn't watching at the time. I'm like, oh man, not that we're supposed to talk about him, but like. I'll tell you what, Chris Benoit was really, really good in the ring. Like, I know you're not...
Chris Benoit was one of my top three for the whole time I was watching, you know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, how it all went down. But
right.
Yeah, man, that dude, I mean, when your finisher is a headbutt from the top rope, I mean, you're going to get some...
Right. Yeah, that's
trauma
true.
to the brain, you know?
That's true. Yeah, but it's been really, really fun. So I'm glad we brought up old wrestling because... I've just been putting it on and watching all these awesome matches. So good. Anyways,
love it.
I don't even watch wrestling now. I don't have time to watch it now. I'm like Roman Reigns has been a champion.
You only have time to watch old wrestling.
I guess that's true. I guess that's fair. All right, here we go. A divine moment in clarity. There you go. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it is pretty clear.
Is it clearer than Jordan's beer? That's what the people want to know.
We'll find out. Let's see. No,
I don't think so.
Mine's pretty dang clear.
Yours is pretty clear. Mine lights up like a freaking light bulb when you put the light behind it. So
Jordan's looks like if a Bud Light went on a diet.
That is true. It is not as clear as Jordan's beer. Let the record show, but it is pretty clear. It's a nice looking beer. You get some dankness on the smell taste, on the nose taste. All right, here we go. It is good. It's very dank. It's got some dankness to it, which I know I said it, but 6.7% alcohol, relatively, I mean, especially coming off a 11% beer, like relatively light. It's good. It gives me like almost like West Coast IPA vibes. But I don't know. We talked about the cold IPA phase. It's just brewed cold, right? And they cold crash it at one point or something like that.
Yeah, and I don't buy into the marketing, and I just call them IPLs because that's, from what I understand, that's basically what they are.
It's a lager. It's brewed like a lager instead of an ale. That's like the only difference, I think.
Got you. Oh, well, then that is really screwed up that they're calling it a cold IPA. Golly.
Well, what's interesting here, because I'm looking at like the description, the detailed description of it right now.
Yeah.
And so it's saying like brewed like an easy drinking lager with rice. So it's like a rice lager, but an IPA version of a rice lager. That's very interesting.
That is interesting. It's good. It's not their best beer. I definitely love them more for their stouts and porters. I've talked about that ad nauseum, but like, it's good. It's really good. I'm gonna give it a 4. I'll give it a 4. Week 4. A week 4 strong 3.75. That's where I'm at with that. So
aspirational 4.
Yeah, that's like a Chicago 4 right there.
Oh, but there you go. Now you guys have the review of a moment of divine clarity.
It's
Brewfest
interesting
I actually
because
went to.
Moment of Divine Clarity says it has an experimental hop, HBC 586, and for some reason I feel like that's like some weird like superhero clone of Wolverine or something. HBC 586.
I was trying to look because it has no information on the can, because I was like, the hop in it was different and I wasn't sure what it was. So like I was like, I couldn't place it, but I'm not smart enough to place it, so I was like looking for the can. Did not give me any help.
I need a YouTube video or a Drinking Alone with Friends podcast deep diving HBC 586 over here.
Oh, let me see.
In the Marvel Universe context.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. And there's only 9 check-ins, so there's not enough to get an average, but I will say that 4 of them were also 4s.
Okay.
So you are a man of the people.
All right, there we go. I did it.
And so your 10th check-in will bring half of the check-ins to be an even 4. So.
I'm going to check it in right now, see if it happens. See. Hold on.
Yeah.
Are we going to watch this in real time? We're going to the birthing of an average score on Untapped.
Ooh. Oh my goodness. Don't.
It's a beautiful thing.
Don't get me so excited.
It's like that scene in Ace Ventura 2.
I'm actually gonna
the rhino.
The rhino scene.
Okay. I love how we knew exactly.
Everyone knows.
I just have one friend that checked it in, but the everyone total is still 9, which is interesting.
I don't
that's
count.
weird.
I don't count as everyone. I wonder if it has to send it, has to verify that it's a legit rating. Probably.
Yeah, they have to send it to Stick-Stickly's P.O. box and then hit verify it and send it back.
Little known fact about Stickly, he's actually a beer connoisseur.
Yeah, he's part of Untapped now.
Yeah.
You got to go get a real job.
He grew up. Now he's Oakley.
Yeah.
We didn't know it. We didn't reveal it at the beginning, but actually it's the secret alternate grown-up identity.
Yes.
It's like Steve Urkel and Stefan Urkel.
Yeah.
Wow. Love it. Family Matters deep cut over here.
We got something for everybody here at Drinking Alone with Friends.
Yeah.
As long as you were born in the late 80s or early 90s.
Oh man, we're just missing that Golden Girls reference now.
I know.
So
what do you think? You guys want to do handles? We got time.
Yeah.
Not want to do handles?
Let's do handles. I love hearing my voice.
Jordan's got a good handle for us this week. And but yeah, let's listen to Jordan sing us a song where he quietly shouts at us.
That mug of wisdom.
Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Mug of wisdom! Drink. Mug of wisdom!
All right, thanks, Jordan. Wow, you are
Can Jordan?
so
Hey, hold
talented.
on. Can Jordan thank Jordan?
Yeah, maybe let's do that.
Right.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not steering the ship. That's right. I'm hands off. Hands off this week.
You're very hands on, hands off.
All right. Thanks,
I
Jordan.
can't let go.
Thanks, Jordan, for doing that sultry, beautiful rendition of everyone's favorite classic, Mortal Kombat. Go check him out at Wreck My Podcast on YouTube, or check him out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area if you want to get real creepy. BS and Craft Beer if you want to go on my Instagram, where I post twice a week and do a story every now and then.
There you go.
The link may or may not be in the show notes. Actually, I'm just going to tell you the links in the show notes. You'll never check.
Also,
Nah,
his real address also in the show notes. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
exactly. Now, if you
May
just
or may not be a P.O. box in New York.
scroll through the whole transcript in the PO in the show notes, and then you'll find BS and Craft Beer there for sure. Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, I've never thanked myself before. That felt weird.
Maybe, you know what? I'll have to put the full version in this week. Normally I do the short version, but it's been a long time. Basically since Tud gave up on the soundboard.
Yeah, and
We
also
haven't
it's
had
not even
the
up
full
to
version.
It's not even up to date because I only have popcorn in there. I don't even have your other dog. I think I said something and other animals though, so I just kind of like
Right.
filtered it out.
You did encompass everybody. You were like, I need a fourth.
Yes. I liked how you guys had a discussion one week about what I actually say in the long version, because there's certain points where you're like, I don't know what he says there, but he says a thing.
It got cleared up. I think someone in the Discord cleared it up for us because they were like,
I think I wrote you guys, and I was like, just so you know, here are the lyrics.
It was? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's really only one person who could clear it up. Right?
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. It's like
exactly.
It's like in Another One Bites the Dust. Does he really say I'm adopted? Like, I don't know. Like, no one knows.
Or for me, it's kind of like Red Hot Chili Peppers, By the Way, when he's like, like Aardvark, Silver Spoon, Beaver, like, who knows what he's saying?
Only Jordan. He's the one who knows all the lyrics.
Yes. I am the creator. Oh, man. Okay, so I think one of you two should go first on this Mug of Wisdom, since you're... In fact, you should go at the same exact time. Just talk over each other. Give it, since you both won.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked last week about a Lady and the Tramp style sharing of a beer. And I think this would be where we both grab different handles on the mug and drink from it at the same time.
I like it.
Or spit wisdom into it. I'm not sure how it works.
Yeah, I think technically we fill it up, right? That's what we say.
No one has ever asked how we fill the mug.
That's
yeah,
true.
You fill it or do you drink it? Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah, where is this wisdom coming from, and why is it so frothy? Okay, I'll go first this week. I have a book.
Ooh.
Not often I do books. I'm reaching for it, which is why it sounds like I'm moving around. This book is called Sea of Tranquility. It's from Emily St. John Mandel, best-selling author of The Glass Hotel and Station 11, it says here. Jordan, did you watch Station 11? I'm not going to ask Chris, but on HBO?
I've never even heard of it, to be honest with you.
Pretty good miniseries on HBO. I'm not going to acknowledge him. I think it's like a one and done type of like a 10 episode show.
And it's on HBO.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It was kind of big because it was like a post-apocalyptic pandemic kills everyone, and it like came out right in the middle of COVID. So it was like very topical.
Interesting. Okay.
And I guess I would say this author plays to their strengths because this book also includes a pandemic. But I'm not going to go... Really, if I talk a lot about the plot, I'm going to spoil some of like the bigger elements, which I hate to do in a book. I love to read books with no information whatsoever. Mm-hmm. It's like I hate seeing trailers for movies. Just go in blind. Because sometimes like there's a big twist 10 minutes into a movie that if you saw the trailer, you'd obviously know coming. But so yeah, it's a sci-fi novel. If you watched the show Station 11, you'd like it. If you've read Emily St. John Mandel's other books, you'd probably like it. It was a quick read, good library book, good summer beach read. That's what people say, right? Yeah, if you're looking for something to fill your summer reading list, look this up. I'll probably put the Goodreads link in the description because then it's like a choose your own spoiling adventure. Like you can do as much or a little research, but no fast forwarding required here. I'm not going to say shit about this book. Go and if those little tidbits I gave you pique your interest, look further. If they don't, move on. This isn't your book.
So are you a pretty avid reader, Obert?
Actually, so I've tried, this is kind of one of my goals for the summer is to get back into reading a little bit more. As a kid, loved reading. Read all the time. A lot of novels, a lot of fiction. Ever since I got a smartphone, now I spend a lot of time reading like stupid people's comments online instead of books. And like reading news articles instead of books. And I think my life would be better if I spent that time on books. So that's something I'm trying to do. It's like a change I want to make in my life. I want to make that happen. So listeners, dawfpodcast@gmail.com. Send me your book recommendations with enough details to get me to read it, but not enough to spoil any of the plot.
Well, I was going to ask you then 2 authors that I'm a really big fan of. Because I'm like you. I used to read a ton. And now it's more like... It takes me like a month or 2 to read a book now because I just am slow at it. But one, have you ever read David Wong? Any books by him?
He was the crack.com guy?
Yeah, the one who did John Dies at the End?
Yes, I have not.
Okay. I'm a huge fan of John Dies at the End.
Okay.
He's a good.
Should I start there?
Start there, and then there's some subsequent ones that kind of follow along that trajectory. He's very good. And then second, this was actually the author that got me realizing in high school that books could be good and fun to read, is M.T. Anderson. They're pretty easy reads because they're technically young adult books. He has one called Thirsty that I really, really like, about it. Essentially, it's like a vampire book, but it's a very interesting take on it. And then he has one I'm rereading right now, called Feed, which is interesting. It's about a futuristic world where everyone has the internet ingrained in their head. And let me tell you, it's all about like capitalism and advertisement and stuff. It's not far off for writing it in 2000. Not far off from where we're at right now.
He's got good predictions.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So I'd say
it's pretty funny that the vampire author wrote a book called Feed that wasn't about vampires.
I know, right? He's very weird crossovers going. Yeah, very weird crossovers going there.
No, that did pique my interest enough. I'm gonna check them out. And so this is a library book. Best thing about library books is you got to go to the library to return them, and then you got to get another book. It's like this fun circle of reading where you keep getting new books.
And you know what, Ober?
And you have a deadline to finish that.
That's
so you're
true.
like, shit, I can't put this book down. I got to finish it. It's due.
You know what, Ober? You said you weren't going to do transitions and segues, but you are segueing perfectly into my handle. So I'm going to take the mug right now, if you don't mind.
Please, go for it.
Because my handle this week was no joke, was going to be your public library. Because I feel like...
I've done this handle.
Have you? Never mind. Never mind. Get that handle out of here. Brush it away. Get rid of the fact
was like
that...
one of the first 15 handles I ever did.
Get rid of the fact you can rent Blu-rays there. Get rid of the fact that you can rent video games there, and it's all free. Get rid of that.
I think you can do it because this was 200 episodes ago.
No, it's good.
This handle.
It's good. I got another one.
People need to know.
I got a backup one. So lately, my wife and I have been really getting into some YouTube channels that are more about like deep diving into certain topics. And there's one documentarian that we're really into right now. Her name is SWOOP. She does documentaries. I said that really. Documentaries.
Documentarianisms.
Yes, documentarianism.
Correct.
She's a really good filmmaker and I want to say journalist too, kind of, but she does it mostly on not necessarily true crime because I feel like that's a little bit played out right now, but more like YouTube stars or like social media stars who have had so like her big one right now she's doing is Colleen Ballinger, right? The Miranda Sings girl who's all this bad stuff's coming out about her right now. She does these like 3-part documentaries on like YouTube stars and social media stars and all that, and kind of deep dives into all of it. So it's kind of like true crime, but not like not really like murdery or anything. And it's done really well. Yeah, that's her right there in the chat. Swoop.
I feel like it's like that VH1 show that used to exist. Was that like what, Behind the Music or something?
It is. It's exactly like Behind the Music. Yeah, but she does it with what now are like celebrities. It's crazy to think that our celebrities now are all like YouTube stars and Instagram stars and stuff. Like, so weird. But yeah, I'd say go check her out. She has some good content. I think if you go too far back, it's mostly like makeup stuff and all that. Like she started in that realm, but now she's doing documentaries and stuff like that. So it's good. I'd say go check it out. She's super, super cool. She can get a little repetitive sometimes, but it sounds condescending. Not condescending. It sounds wrong to call someone woke anymore because it's such like an old term, but she's very good about how she I'll say diplomatic about how she goes about doing it. She doesn't really give you her opinion. She just lays out the facts, which I like.
Nice.
Yeah. So check out Swoop.
Woke is an old term now?
If you talk to a Gen Z person, I think people who use woke are like, you're trying too hard.
It's played out.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh man. I
mean, Donald Trump sent woke, so I think we're past that point now.
Well, he's older than I am. I know that. Like,
yeah, but once it gets
by
to
much,
I know
I
I'm
guess.
old, but I'm pretty sure that Trump's older than me.
Pretty sure he was in Home Alone 2. I'm pretty sure he's older than me. Everyone knows Trump. Yeah, exactly. People just know Trump from Home Alone 2. But yeah, there you go.
Okay, I like it. I like both handles. I have so many links. This is such a show notes. I'm gonna add an extra challenge for myself. There's gonna be an Easter egg in the show notes.
Easter egg in the show notes. Okay.
You gotta click all the links to find it.
Nice.
You gotta first one to post in the Discord gets shout out next week. Yeah.
And if you see the picture of a big black dude with no shirt on, don't click that link.
That's Jordan's Instagram.
Yep.
Oh man. Well, I guess I'm gonna go, and I don't have anything thought provoking or fun. Well, no, I have something fun, but not thought provoking. I don't think we've talked about this at all on the podcast, so I'm gonna swoop in here and steal it. There's a video game that came out not that long ago that I have been playing and I'm in love with, and I went out and bought a PS5 for, and that is Final Fantasy XVI. So I don't know if you guys are aware of the Final Fantasy XVI. I don't know if Jordan, do you have a PS5?
I do. I was going to say, welcome to the family, man. I switched over to the PlayStation like a year or two ago, and I haven't looked back since.
I mean, I was pretty. I mean, I played the PS4, PS5. I had a PS, but I was holding out. I didn't want to get it. I was like, there's nothing really on the PS5, and then I found out Final Fantasy 16 was coming out, and I was like,
wait a sec. What do you mean there's nothing on the PS5? There's the Spider-Man games, there's the Last of Us games, there's the Uncharted games. Like the PlayStation stuff is.
You can play most of that on the PS4.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I never owned a PlayStation before the PS5.
I guess that's true.
I was always an Xbox person and Nintendo person. So this was like my first frolicking.
Jordan's catching up. He's currently on Spyro 2, Ratchet and Clank is next.
Yes.
Crash Bandicoot 3. I don't know.
Yep,
Right.
exactly.
Crash Bandicoot Racing. Yeah.
What are you looking at my library right now? What's going on?
He's started at the very beginning. Again, it's like podcasts.
I told you.
You can only start at the beginning.
I actually did try that with Resident Evil. I bought a Resident Evil pack that started with the original. I tried to play from that. I skipped. I couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it. Yeah. It's not about the graphics, but sometimes it's about the graphics. I hate to say it. Well, anyways, I've been playing Final Fantasy 16 and I'm like in love with it. It's worth buying a PS5 for. It is way more the story is great. The gameplay I really am enjoying, including the combat, which I know some people are not a fan of the combat. It's like one of the first ones where they went straight away from turn-based and into a more, active style combat. But I'm enjoying it. I don't know. I really like the way they've done it. The story's really good. I will say it is way more gruesome than Final Fantasy games in the past. Just some of the killing blows and some of the fight scenes, and they swear a lot, which I wasn't expecting. I don't know. They don't normally swear in Final Fantasy games. So, but it's been so awesome to play. It definitely earns the mature tag because that's what it is, M for mature. But it's been so much fun. If you are a fan of Final Fantasy and you're hesitant, you're hemming and hawing, it's a beautiful game, great story, some epic freaking battle scenes. Some of the battle scenes are so freaking epic. Even though they're cinematics, it just looks so beautiful. It's so much fun. So if you're a Final Fantasy fan and you're thinking, I don't know what I want to do, I don't know if I want to get it, get it, just do it, you'll enjoy it, I promise. So check it out. Final Fantasy 16 is on the PS5. I don't know if it's going to be, I assume it's going to be released on other, on PC later this year or something, but
do they do that? I really thought you could only play it on PlayStation.
I think it's going to be on PC later on. It normally joins.
Final Fantasy games go on Nintendo too, don't they? Usually.
Some of them have, but
just
not
some. Okay.
I don't know if the Switch can handle Final Fantasy 16. To be honest, but being honest,
what are you talking about? 24 frames per second, 720p. What are you talking about?
That's how I play Pokemon. Pokemon, which is only released for the Switch, plays at 24 frames per second.
Oh man.
So, yeah, no, it might come to Xbox and PC later in the year, but I am more akin to the PlayStation line of consoles. So, it was a really good excuse to get a PS5. And finally, Mrs. Beardad / Dana, for you people, she was against it the whole time, but it's been a lot of fun. It's been fun playing it. So,
but now she's the one chainsawing off heads.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
She's further in it than I am now,
it was the developers of Gears of War finally made a Final Fantasy game.
Gears of War was so good back in the day.
Oh, totally. It was a great game. Who doesn't love chainsawing crazy alien people?
I used to play it co-op with my brother all the time. So much fun.
I started playing Doom, the newest Doom, and the chainsaw kills in that game are also excellent. just tearing demons in half with a chainsaw.
That's why I love playing the Wolfenstein later games, because the weapons on there are just insane.
Lumberjack Simulator. Oh, so good. So good.
Just the wood chips just flying in your face.
Like,
everywhere.
Man.
Yeah.
Played in VR.
I was going to say, that's what you need the Oculus for. I like it. I might actually check out Final Fantasy now. I've never actually played any of those games, but
No? Oh, okay.
You've made me curious, and I'm almost done with Spider-Man, so I need a new game soon.
The gore and potty talk really got you, George.
Yeah, you know how to get me excited about something.
I'm not doing it.
Oh, okay.
That's right. That's right. I forgot. We don't have Tud here. We're all waiting for Tud.
Yeah.
I knew we didn't have Tud. I knew what was going on, but I my hands are off the steering wheel this week. So we're just careening towards that iceberg.
What do we do? We thank people? Is that what you do at the end of the show? You actually thank people?
Just the breweries who provided today's beers.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to thank Divine Barrel for their a comfort in darkness and a moment of divine clarity.
And I'll thank Manhattan Project Beer Company for their Necessary Evil Pilsner.
And I'm going to thank Imagination for Nebula.
Make sure you go and follow us on all social medias at DAWF Podcast. Make sure you head over to Apple Podcast and give us that 5-star rating that you've been so dying to give us. I know we've been waiting for them to come in, and they do sometimes. So great job, those people. Other people, not as great job. Make sure you join the conversation over on Discord and tell us when we're wrong and post things to enlighten us. Just like who was it? Who did it this week? Someone just did. Sal talking about there's no scientific definition for a vegetable. It's a culinary term. Interesting. Wouldn't have known it outside of the Discord.
Oh, I didn't. So I saw the preview of the message come across my phone, and I realized it was the fruit vegetable thing, and I'm like, I'm not engaging in this. I'm done. I can't. I don't want to know.
Obert's like, this is what is dividing our country right now. I am not engaging.
This is not a thing.
If somebody brings up tomatoes, I'm walking out of here. No, go on Discord. Tell us if you found the Easter egg.
Yes, Easter egg. In the show notes. Probably, maybe.
Yeah. Tell us what happens if you send a letter to Stickly tomorrow.
Yeah.
Does like Nickelodeon send you some fun swag being like, thanks for remembering our P.O. Box 25 years ago?
They must still own it, right? They have to still own it. If people,
no one else would want it.
People like me are still remembering this a long time ago. I hope I get a signed picture of Stickly. That
would be the ultimate.
That's that goes in the podcast Hall of Fame if that happens. Oh man.
Did you guys ever see the lumberjack simulator level where Stickly was?
you have to. You're cutting down Oakley, and Stickly tries to stop you.
Yes, exactly.
He's the mini boss before you get to Oakley. Give us 5 stars. Check out Discord. What else do we got?
Don't you guys have like an advertisement now or something?
DAWFpodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
We did Manscaped. You can check us. Go use coupon code DAWF, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Coupon code DAWF at Manscaped for 20% off your first order and free shipping. That's right. 20% off and free shipping your first order at Manscaped. Your balls will thank you.
We don't know how long that code's going to be good for. This might be your last week. So go and try it out. And if it doesn't work, just close the tab.
Yeah. Wait till DAWF 2 is active.
Yeah.
All right. And I think with that, my name's Chris.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Obert. And remember, if you're drinking alone, do it with friends.
Tud always goes, oh, you guys missed me during the outro. This was way better.
Oh, yeah.
Way better than our normal outro.
100%.
Flowed perfectly. No mishaps.
Yeah, no problem at all. There's no dead space at all. Obert, you have to keep the dead space in because those were moments that were fabricated for the joke.
It pains me so much to leave dead air in the podcast.
But it's part of the joke.
It just saps my energy. Just like, what if they think the podcast stopped and the next 26 minutes are complete silence?
My favorite thing ever is when I think a podcast that just cut out the audio and then you find out 10 seconds later they're still there. It's like getting lost in a grocery store as a child and being like, oh no, there's my mom.
My mom.
On this podcast, I like to replicate the experience of running into someone you know as an acquaintance in the first aisle of the grocery store, and then seeing them in every single aisle from there on out. That's the vibe we're going for.